Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Tate from Dallas, Texas, presenting today for you from ACR 2017 in San Diego, California. I love the plenary sessions. I think that they are the most high yield and they give you a lot of information in very, very small subsets, which is really nice for me. It's digestible. So I just attended a really great plenary session with Dr. Lan Dewey on the safety and efficacy of sustained remission in patients on adalimumab versus placebo. So that's something we all talk about, right? We want to know not only how do we achieve remission for our patients, but can we sustain that remission? And if so, can we do it off of medication? So this study actually is called the Ability 3, if you're interested in more information. And realistically, what they looked at is they had patients who had non-radiographic SPA, so that's using the ASAS criteria, not the New York criteria. And why is that important? That's important because we were looking at non-radiographic spondyloarthritis, not radiographic spondyloarthritis. So in general, they took 305 patients who had been on adalimumab every 2 weeks for 28 weeks. Of those 305 patients who had achieved remission, they then broke it down into a placebo group of 153 patients versus a non-placebo group with continued adalimumab every 2 weeks, 152 patients. So we looked at a couple of things. Number one, we wanted to make sure that the safety data was still there for the patients. So there were no new safety indications for Humira based on what we already know. So that's really important. But we also wanted to know, of the patients who had achieved remission, can we sustain that remission? Well, we found that 70% of the patients who had already achieved remission on adalimumab and who stayed on adalimumab, 70% of those patients did very well, but 30% had flares. So what about the remission group that had achieved it but then had to be off of the medication, who were within the withdrawal placebo group? We actually found that only 30% of those patients had no flares. So that's 70% of those patients had flares and could be reintroduced to adalimumab. So here's the caveat to that though. Once they achieved remission, they were taken off of the drug in the withdrawal phase of this study, and then they were put back on adalimumab. It wasn't as effective. So it's twofold information. So it goes to show that maybe we do need to reconsider the way that we approach these patients. We need to make sure they hit clinical remission, but it's really important to have sustained remission. And partly, this may be keeping them on drug for the extended period of time. So I hope that you learned something from this session. I know I did. I always send patients and people to the plenary sessions because personally, that's where I learn the most bang for my buck. So I hope you enjoy RheumNow.com and keep checking us out for up-to-date information from ACR 2017 in San Diego, California.